Good morning. My name is Kyle Helfrich. I'm a student, brother, Catholic, son, friend, and above all else, I'm from North Andover. I lived here my entire life. Not just me, but my dad grew up here and my grandfather grew up here. Most kids my age want to go out and see the world, but for me, my world is right here in this suburban town in North Andover, in northern Massachusetts. Most of you live here, whether it's in a dorm or you also grew up in town. My dad lived in the White House right by Wire Hill, which is the hill right across the lake from Brooks. He lived there with his 6 sisters and 1 brother. He went to North Andover Public Schools all the way through high school and then Roger Williams University in Rhode Island. After he graduated and met my mom, they moved to a house on Equestrian Drive and then to my current home on Bear Hill, both right here in North Andover. He worked at and now owns my grandfather's boiler factory, which way back when put the boilers in here at Brooks over by the smokestack. When my brothers and I were touring schools, my dad would say to us, the closest I ever got to a school like this was the boiler room. I never really knew how much my parents did until I got older. Growing up in my house, time kind of flew by. From hockey practices and lacrosse practice to pretty much anything you can think of. My dad would start his day around 5 a.m. and then would make our lunch and head off to work. He would get back around 6 p.m. to take my older brothers, Vincent and Patrick, to hockey practice, either here at Brooks or at Merrimack. If my dad wasn't able to, then my mom would. After that, my mom would have dinner ready. And after dinner, my mom and dad would put us to bed. My mom and dad might watch TV for a little, and around midnight, my dad would sneak out the door and head back to work to make sure the night shift was running well. He would get back home around 2 or 3 a.m., and then the day would start again at 5 a.m. My mom and dad would do it all over again. When I was 4, I didn't understand how busy my mom and dad were, because they were simply always around. They didn't miss a thing. My dad didn't care if he had just worked an 18-hour shift. He was not going to miss a school play or a lacrosse game. When I asked him this year why he wanted to live in the same place for so long, he said to me, I wanted to be involved in you and your brothers' lives. My goal in life was to have you grow up in a place where I knew people and you would have a lot of friends, and I could see every wonderful thing you and your brothers did growing up. The decision your mother and I also made was to put you guys through college debt-free, and to do that, I knew I needed to work a lot. This town gave me the option to do both. In life, you need to make sacrifices. My mom and dad did them with the intention of not bettering themselves, but their family. I often say how much I love this town, and this is part of the reason. The history of my family is here. My entire past is here. When I walk downtown into a store, I'll see someone I know, whether an old friend of my dad's or Linda down at Artie's Corner. When I sit down at the 99 restaurant, someone will come up to me and ask how my mom and dad are doing. It feels like home. I cherish that feeling. There are other reasons I love this town, however. For example, you meet lifelong friends. Ellie Cordes and I have been going to school together for 15 years. Nick, Owen, and Kyle grew up in town with me, and together, if you're interested, we could tell you the ins and outs of this town, where to eat, who to talk to, what places to visit. Like I said, I live on Bear Hill Road, 5 minutes from here. My 4 best friends since I was 5 all live a mile from me. Their parents grew up in town too. And together, my family and theirs make up a group of townies that haven't spent more than a week outside of North Andover. Growing through life, you meet different people. But when you have people in your life that know everything about you, you don't take that lightly. And I'm not just talking about your secrets or maybe your struggles, but the people that understand you better than you know yourself. Let's just say you don't find these kind of people until you sink your roots deep in one place for a long time. It takes a while to know a town like my family knows this one. And if you ask other third-generation families, they will tell you all the same things. That's why we've never left. I don't waste a single second I get to spend with my friends. Every game of wiffle ball that we've played in the North Andover Common, every hockey game, and every sleepover. My greatest memories are in this town. However, I know soon I'll have to move out to college, and it will be my first time leaving this town. I also know that one day I'll wake up and I'll be 50. I'll be right back here, and that's okay. That's fine with me. because my world doesn't need to be bigger than these 28 square miles I call home. I grew up a bike ride from my best friends. My parents could come to all my games and my brother's games because the fields were 5 minutes away. I don't think I could thank the town of North Andover enough. I just hope one day I can give my kids the same perfect life that I have had, and this town is the only way I know how to do that. Be proud of where you come from, because like it or not, it stays with you for the rest of your life. And to the class of 2017, come back and visit me, because I know I'm going to miss you guys. Thanks.